Okay, I want to do a quick overview of my new mini size die cut machine. So I have the Sidekick here, the original one that I bought a long time ago. It doesn't even have the little lever to help it plop down. It has these little feet. Didn't really work, but if you hold it like this, it totally does the same thing. And for a long time I had to use a shim in order to get it through because they didn't make the plate and I didn't have the adapters to use thin wafer dies on it. But they recently came out with a new version, and they came out with new cutting plates. I do have those in my drawer here. So here it is. This is the cutting side I've been using. They are a little bit thicker than the original plates, which I have here. You're probably not going to be able to tell when I stick it in like this. There's just a tad bit of give, especially if you put some cardstock in there. But what I used to have to do is, or maybe it's not a shim, but I used to just make it thicker by adding like pieces of scrap chipboard in here, and then I go like this, make the sandwich. Let me see. Yeah, here's the cutting one I normally use. It's just a fresh one, and then I put it in like that, put the die in there, and then I would have to run it through so there would be some resistance, because like as you can tell when I pull it out there is resistance. But if I just use the two cutting plates, there's nothing. Even if I put a die in there, there would be no resistance. But it cuts beautifully when I use it like that also. But now that they've came out with these new cutting plates for the Sidekick, it's been working really well. As you can tell, I've been cutting with it. So I cut a sample. So this is a happy that I cut a couple layers of regular cardstock, cheap cardstock, and then I layered it up like this. I think it's like 5 cuts, and then I placed them on top, glued them together, and then I embossed it in this gold color. I think it's really pretty actually. And then this machine, I cut this Mary, which cut beautifully also. Yeah, I have the Sidekick original, and then I have the new Spellbinders Prizm. I'm going to keep the cutting plates out so that I can show you the difference between the original and this one sometimes. But the cutting plates, and the new one comes also with the embossing mat because mine's old. Mine doesn't come with an embossing mat, which is not a big deal. I don't really emboss that often, so I'm not worried about it. But my new Spellbinders machine does come with it. So how it works is you just pull down these little things. To me, this feels weak. It doesn't feel very sturdy. Like, they kind of move, if you can tell. Let me put this down. I'll close that side up. Yeah, like, you see how there's a little bit of give? That worries me that it's gonna break, because I also have the We Are Member Keepers, I think it's called the Revolution, from like a bigger size, and when I need to cut. But for the most part, this one will do great for on my table. This doesn't feel stable to me. They move down. They have like a bounce to them. Versus this one, it has like this lip here, and so you just slide it in. Obviously it's not going anywhere, it's pretty solid. But the cutting plates are much bigger. So in the original and the new cutting plates, the only difference is the thickness. So I'm just gonna go actually with this one because these are the ones that would do thin wafer dies, and so is this one. So you have your base plate A, your cutting plate, and I think I have 2 extra because they were on sale. So I'm going to put these 2 away. Because you always need more cutting plates. Always. And so this is your A. So how you make your sandwich is you'd put your cutting plate. I personally put my cutting plate down and my die down. I would put my paper and then my die, and then I would put my base plate like this. I would stick it in, run it in. And for me, I have found that it works perfect. I like the length. It's a little longer, so you do have a little more real estate lengthwise. And I like that it, for me, that it comes with the embossing plate, the embossing mat, and it was much easier to find extra cutting plates, obviously, because they sold this at Michael's. I bought this one at Michael's for 40% off, or was it on sale? I don't remember. I bought a lot of stuff, so, as you can tell. So I really enjoy that this was easily accessible as opposed to this one. I haven't seen it in stores yet, even like the new version. That's Tim Holtz, or there's Stephanie Bernard, her version. Hers is white. I think it's white and pink cutting plates, and then the Tim Holtz one is like a brownish, like the Vagabond color, and then the plates are like a tannish color too. But with this one, I haven't been able to not find the new plates in stores yet, which that doesn't make me happy because it's not easy. I had to order these from scrapbook.com and they were on back order for a long time. As for these, they sold them at Michael's. I saw them on clearance. I picked up 2 extras. I think they were like $2 for the extra plate. So I really did, enjoy that part. Having the really easy access to the cutting plate. This is the plate A. You don't count this one, but this is the cutting plate, and that made it a lot easier. It is going to be a little thicker, so it would be harder for you to run that through the Sidekick. But overall, they have the same function, right? So it's really preference. I decided to get a new one because the ease of being able to get these cutting plates, because obviously they warp and stuff like that, and if you're using your little machine a lot, the actual cutting plates will start bending. This one isn't bending that much. It is doing a little bit of a U shape, but because every time I cut, I flip it. So when you're running it through the machine, it wants to bend it like this, like bend it up, because of the way, it's running through the machine. It's putting that pressure down, and so the sides want to go up. So if you keep flipping it back and forth, it will help with the bending, I have found. Yeah, but yeah, so this is the Prizm here. I really enjoy it. I like that I have this new locking feature on here. So it goes down like that, and you press it down like this. It won't actually work on this particular table that I have because I have a piece of foam board down for the white, but on the actual desk itself, it works perfectly fine. And the price wasn't too bad. I think it was like 50 bucks, and I want to say I got it on sale, or I used a coupon. I don't remember 100%. Here's the instruction book. I already threw away the box because you don't need to you don't need me to show you how to take it out of the box. That's not something you want to see, but this is everything that it comes with. The actual machine yourself comes with a cutting plate, your base plate, which is thinner. You probably won't be able to tell, but it is thinner. She woke up at 10.
You gave no candy.
I did. Right when she woke up, I gave her 2.
Can we go?